Hey guys, what's up? So today I want to talk about the transfer of information and how you must be careful with the information that you're receiving. I was watching a video about a guy talking about sharks, and most of the stuff the guy said was absolutely true, but some of the things weren't, and it got me thinking about the different experiences and lessons that I was taught in college about the transfer of information. Before I go into why you should be careful, there are three types of information. There's primary, secondary, and tertiary sources. So a primary source is a first-hand account of an event or an authoritative piece. So original documents, manuscripts, theses, dissertations, or scholarly journal articles. A secondary source describes or analyzes a piece of primary information. So analysis on research, textbooks, and political analysis or commentary. And now a tertiary source organizes or compiles information from another source. So indexing and abstracting sources, some textbooks, and some fact books. A primary source is the best source that you can use because it comes straight from the researcher or historical figure. A secondary source, however, has many issues with validity and reliability. Validity covering the original data and the true findings of what the experiment's scientific method provided. This leads into what the article or source is trying to tell you. Is it genuine and authentic from the scientific method, or is it their personal bias? In primary sources, the personal bias is relatively low. However, with secondary sources, the personal bias increases exponentially. The most biased of these secondary sources are news outlets. They do not use well-controlled methods of documentation, so the validity of the information falls onto the author. Mostly, the people giving the news and writing these articles distort the facts to make the situation look in a way that they want or their agenda wants, whether that be better or worse. In my ecology and evolution class in college, we watched a video that was sent to all middle school and high school science teachers in the US about carbon emissions. The first time we watched the video, there were a few things that popped out to me that didn't seem right. One of them being, they said that the ocean was expelling carbon into the atmosphere, and the increase of carbon was not due to human use on fossil fuels. After the first watch through, my professor told us that this video was made to cast doubt on human involvement of increasing carbon emissions. The professor then took us through and showed us different parts of the film that were made to throw people off. For example, the video was distributed by pbs.com, not pbs.org. Also, some of the graphs were deceptive. Instead of the 0 being at the cross like it usually is and the largest number being at the end, they were switched. So the largest number was at the cross and the 0 was at the other end. So when they were talking about carbon emissions, it seemed like the carbon emissions were falling and decreasing. However, when you actually looked at the graph and sat down, it was distorted and flipped around, so they were actually increasing. We also looked up some of the experts that the video helped push their delusion and found out that they had been recording and taking money from big oil to say that fossil fuels are not the issue. They both lost their jobs because of this. One was actually working for Harvard, I think, but the other was working for Oxford University in England. But remember, this video was sent to almost every school in the nation, so big oil is really trying to cast doubt on this situation. This feeds into bias in news articles and news companies. Primary sources are relatively safe from bias, but secondary sources are full of bias to make you think in a certain way. What you're watching now, my videos, are actually secondary sources. I get my information from primary sources to bring the facts to you guys. I try to leave my biases out of these videos. My goal is to give you all the information of certain situations and happenings so you can make your own informed decision on the topics that I bring up. So just take warning and be careful of the information you guys receive because there could be some bias or lack of knowledge in what's being said. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys next week. Hey guys, Sharkboy here. Like what you saw? Hit that subscribe button. Each week we're going to take a chomp out of different environmental issues, dissecting them so everybody can understand them. Stay tuned for more exciting things to come. Thanks for watching.